Good afternoon, students. This is Tejaswini Casey. In this class, we'll discuss about the module 4, the fresh module, the multinational corporations. Okay. In previous videos, I already discussed about module 3rd. If you have any doubts, I will conduct a Zoom meeting session. In that, you can ask me doubts. Okay, so let's go on with this multinational corporations. Multinational corporations, the basic thing it will come, it is a foreign corporations, right? So that is which are having a branches at foreign countries also. Those kind of a corporations what we are going to call as the multinational corporations. And this is part 1, and again I will go with the, in next class I will go with the part 2. So here let's discuss about certain introduction to this chapter. Here international business describes business or operations of the firms having interests in multiple countries. Such firms are going to be called as corporations, multinational corporations. That is in starting itself I told you, right? That is who are all the business corporators are established their business branches at foreign nationals. Those kind of firms or the corporations we are going to call it as the multinational corporations. And here it is going to consist with the two words, that is as multi plus national. Multi in the sense that is several branches, and national, that is nationality, it is going to differ from one country to another country, and national which is going to represent the country. Okay, multinational. And multi means many and national means countries. Okay, and here a multinational corporations is a corporate organization that owns or controls production of goods or services in at least one country other than its home country, right? That is any corporation it may taken into consideration, it need to be have a establishment in another country. Okay, that is, say for example in our India, our ABC company is there. Okay, then it is going to call as domestic corporation. Whereas if the ABC company it's opened its branch in America and in UAE, okay, these kind of various countries, if the ABC branch is opened, then for that company we are going to call as multinational corporation. Okay, but the parent company is in our India, ABC company. Okay. However, a firm that owns and controls 51% of a foreign subsidiary also controls production of goods and services in at least one country other than its home country, and therefore would also meet the criterion even if that foreign affiliate generates only a few percent of its revenue. That is, the foreign subsidiaries, they need to have a control of 51% of their controlling. Okay, it need to be there with the parent company which is there in our India. Okay, that is a foreign company established in America, it is having a whole control, that is 51% of a control which is going to lies in the hand of Indian parent company. Okay, and in regard with the goods and services production process also, the full control it is going to lies in the hand of parent company itself. The whole control it is not lies in the hands of subsidiary. Okay, and here home country, they need to have this holding power. If it is holding power it's there, then the corporation it is going to run in a smoother manner, or otherwise it is not possible to run in a smoother manner. Okay, so for that if the percentage it is decreased, or increased. Okay, based on that, revenue generation of the corporations are also going to be vary. Okay, so this is what the introduction to multinational corporations. And next let's go on with the multi plus national is equal to multinational. Just I have discussed with certain key aspects which are going to involve in multinational. Okay, a corporation MNC engages in various activities like exporting, importing, manufacturing in different countries, right? Here multinational corporations main theme it's based on these three aspects only: export and import and manufacturing the products in parent company and in subsidiary company. Okay, and here basically MNCs have worldwide involvement and a global perspective in its management and decision making. That is, here MNCs have the global recognition. Okay, and for that purpose only, here the management which is going to be recognized as the global perspective, as per the global perspective, and the decision making it is fully lies in with the hands of parent company. Okay, and next aspect is MNCs consider opportunities throughout the globe, though they do the business in a few countries. Okay, those just ABC company, it is established the branch in America and UAE and in South Africa. Okay, ABC company, it is having subsidiaries in 3 countries, but still it will be going to be get the global recognition. Okay, that is what it is going to states with the second point. And the third is MNCs invest considerable portion of their assets internationally. That is, whatever the investment it is going to be made by the MNCs, it is going to be considered, or the portion of their assets are going to be considered as internationally. That is, portion of their assets in the sense nothing but what the assets owned by the parent company. Okay, what the assets owned by the parent company, no, that will be going to be considered as the international assets of the corporations. Okay, and next point thing, it's about MNCs engage in international production and operate plants in a number of countries. Okay, here MNCs are going to be engaged in the international production in the sense nothing but producing of goods in home countries and producing of certain another semi-finished goods in another subsidiary countries also, subsidiary companies. Okay, and thereby they are going to operate in number of countries, and after that it is going to be sold to all the countries which worldwide, right? So if you take an example of any TV brand, right, just Sansui, it is basically I'll give you example like Sansui. It is a Japan based company. Okay, so Sansui, it is not going to be sold in only Japan or in the main branch of the TV's owner, right? It is going to be sold across the globe, right? So like this, it is the international production process, and it is going to operate in the number of countries. Okay, and last thing, it's about MNCs take managerial decisions based on a global perspective. Okay, here MNCs are going to take the managerial decision what the conditions or the status of a global, based on that they are going to take a consideration. That is, in a global perspective their decision making will be there. Okay, And next thing, it's about the international operations are integrated into the corporation's overall business. Here, the international operations like exporting or importing or manufacturing of goods and services in the organization, those are all going to be integrated through overall business. It is not just restricted to one place, or it is not restricted to one area. It is worldwide. Okay, that is what we are going to call as the multinational. Okay, and next we'll move on with the next aspects in your syllabi. It is definition of MNCs. Okay, here I given up with two definitions. First definition, which was given by International Labour Organization report, that is ILO report. And ILO report, it is going to observe or given the definition as the essential nature of the multinational enterprises lies in the fact that its managerial headquarters are located in one country, while the enterprise carries out operations in a number of other countries as well host countries. That is the first part of definition. It is going to say as the multinational enterprises, the managerial headquarter, it is going to be located in one country. That is going to call it as the parent or the home country. And next is the enterprise, which is going to carry out the operations in number of other countries, are located in another country. That is going to be called as the host countries. Okay, it is what the first part of definition was confined. And next is second part of this definition. Second part of this definition is obviously what is meant is a corporation that controls production facilities in more than one country. Such facilities having been acquired through the process of foreign direct investment. Here the production facilities or whatever the facilities which are going to be given, no, that all going to be depends on the foreign direct investment proportion to the subsidiaries. Okay, and here the firms that participate in international business, however large they may be solely by exporting or by hunting technology, are not multinational enterprises. Here the large size they required, not like that. Okay, and whether it need to be solely export, that is also not true. And with the hunting of technology, okay, these kind of enterprises are not going to be established as the multinational enterprises. Only the multinational enterprises, they need to be in a small size, or it need to be in a medium sized. Okay, it is not to be in a larger size. Okay, and next thing, it's about it need not to fully control over the full control of export. And here it need not to hunt the technology. Okay, hunting the technology, it is purely depends on the certain criterions, that is as on intellectual property rights and copyrights. Based on that, it is going to varies. Okay, so those kind of enterprises or the corporations are not going to be called as the multinational enterprises. Okay, this is what the definition which was given by International Labour Organization report. Okay, and the next definition which was given by Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, here the Black's Law Dictionary, as per their view, it is going to suggest that a company or a group should be considered a multinational corporation if it derives 25% or more of its revenue from out of home country operations. Okay, here they have given the definition based on one percentage, that is if if the multinational corporation, it is going to derive 25% of revenue or more than the 25% of its revenue out of its home country operations, then that kind of a corporations are going to be called as the multinational corporations. Okay, that is as simple as that. This definition says that 25% of revenue or more than that, the subsidiary corporations need to be make. Okay, if 25% of profit it is generated, then it is going to be called it as good corporation, or otherwise it is not going to be called as the good corporation. Okay, this is what the definitions of MNCs. Okay, and next is the next part in your syllabi. It's factors contributed for the growth of MNCs. That is, which are all the factors are going to be contributed in order to make growth in the MNCs. Okay, so these are the certain key points which are made a help to in order to improve with the MNCs, that is multinational corporations in a global market. Okay, the first factor is expansion of market territory. Here the growth of the various economies along with the GDP and per capita income, okay, which are going to be result in the living standards, and these factors are contributed towards the expansion of market territory, and along with the large operations of the MNCs build up the image and good recognition, and which is also going to contribute to the expansion of market territory. Here basically the what are all the percentage of GDP and the per capita income percentage, based on that only whether the market is strong or not strong, one can determine that. Okay, that is always our GDP, it's in a single digit only, and government always that is our Indian government always try to make it double digit, but it's not happening so. Okay, so if GDP and per capita income are good, then the living that is standard of living of the particular country's persons, it is also going to be stronger. Okay, and if the living standards are in a higher position, then automatically there will be a chance for the market expansion, right? So if the market expansion happens, then obviously the image factor or the recognition factor, it is going to be enhanced for the multinational corporations. Okay, this is the first factor which is going to contribute to the growth of MNCs. Okay, and the second factor is market superiorities. Here MNCs are going to be enjoy the number of or numerous factors of market superiorities over with the domestic companies. Okay, here domestic companies will only enjoy with the market superiorities. Okay, the market superiorities in the form of the different kind of things. It is not one kind of thing, it will be covered with a different aspects. Okay, that may be the availability of more reliable and up to date data and information, and they can enjoy the market reputation, and they are going to face less difficulty in the marketing of products, and they are going to adopt more effective advertising and sales promotion techniques, and they are going to enjoy with a quick transportation and warehousing facilities, okay, and so on. These kind of market superiorities are also lies in the hand of multinational corporations, and if market superiorities are in good manner, then it is very much possible, or it is very easy to make a establishment at global level, okay. And next, third factor is, it is the market superiorities, that is here only the marketing factors are going to be considered, and whereas in third, the financial superiorities, okay, that is the regarding money factor, here it is going to be considered. That is, if the any multinational corporation is said to be the financially strong enough, then it can be make a competition as quick as possible, okay, and it can develop or sustain in the market for a longer period if it is having a sufficient money with themselves, okay. And here MNCs enjoy financial superiorities over national companies in addition to market superiorities. In addition to the market superiorities, here certain financial superiorities are also going to be enjoyed by the domestic companies and as well as the foreign companies, that is subsidiary companies, okay. Here the financial superiorities may be the huge financial resources at the disposal of MNCs, okay. Financial resource means nothing but the sufficient bank balance, okay, and these are used for turning the environment and circumstances in their favorance, okay. That is whatever the favor may be, they can convert to it into the good manner, and maybe they can use funds more effectively and economically, as if any excess funds which is required for the another country, it is also going to be done so, okay. And another thing, it's about the meeting the requirements of the peoples, that is the employees, whatever the needs are going to be arised from the employees, no, it can be fulfilled very easily, and they have easy access to the external capital markets, okay, and they can mobilize the different type of resources as high quality easily, okay. And think about they can access to international banks and financial institutions very easily to opt with a loan, okay. So these kind of financial superiorities, if it's there in a sense, then growth of MNCs will be in a very high manner, okay. And the fourth factor is the technological superiorities. Here MNCs are going to be allowed, if not invited by the developing countries, mostly due to the technological backwardness of these countries, okay. In India, most of the MNCs were not there because here the technology, it is not upgraded, okay. And when it comes to the other underdeveloped countries like South Africa and these kind of things, when it comes, no, in those kind of countries also, the MNCs are not going to be established. If MNCs are not going to be established, then generation of employment opportunity is also not possible, right? So if employment generation not possible in a sense, then the GDP rate and the per capita income also not going to be done, okay. So for this reason, for any developing country or underdeveloped countries, they need to adopt with a certain technological changes as quick as possible, okay. And they need to generate the employment. If employment generated, then money can be easily accessed to the all the kind of a people and all the levels of people, that may be the middle level or lower level, or it may be the upper level, okay. And here in fact MNCs are rich in advanced technology. Always MNCs are in rich technology itself, and they can develop the technology through continuous research and development. They are going to be in a continuous research and development process, So they were very much sure about that technology, and they are going to use it also. Okay, and here the developing economies regarding the transfer of technology from the MNCs as a useful account due to that is, here the technological superiorities may be in the process of industrialization. Okay, industrialization, it need to be happen in the backward state or the developing countries or underdeveloped countries. That is, industrialization means nothing but the establishment. Okay, establishment of one firm where the where backward peoples are there, or where the that particular region is stated as the backward area. Okay, there actually the industrialization process need to be happen. Okay, near to Lokikere, that Maharaja soap industries were established, was established. By that, the local people, they have generated with the employment. Okay, and it is giving up with a very good, and it is have a huge market demand also. Okay, that was actually the backward area in our region. Okay, but it was developed now. Okay, so for this reason only the government made special economic zones and free trade zones, like these kind of variations are made. Okay, and whether the next technological superiority, it may be the developing countries are rich in mineral and natural resources, right? They need to be exploit in order to get up with the financial and the in order to overcome with the lower level technology. Okay, and here local level manpower, materials, capital, okay, it need to be utilized for some extent, and after that they need to opt for the technology. Okay, and here the question arises that by technological upgradation the man will get unemployed, but it is so far he will not get employment opportunity, but still, as the world is growing on, no, like that we need to opt for the changes. If we not opt for the changes, then it is going to be called as the backward area. So for that reason, it need to be get adopted with a certain technology, and it need to be go on. Okay, it need not to stop anywhere. And next aspect of technological superiority, it may be the regarding the importing of technology, materials, and producing of goods and services. Okay, so if they are going to fail, then how best they can be going to convert those fail into success. Okay, in certain situations in developing countries, it is not possible to continuously upgrade with the technology. So if technology upgradation is not going to be done, then at that situation they need to be opt for certain other kind of measures. Okay, so the other kind of measures, it is going to be called as the technological superiority. They need to opt for that corporations. Okay, and here they need not to show themselves as a backward ones. They need to be in a continuous or the perpetual succession they need to get regarding the technological matter. Okay, so this is about the technological superiorities. And next thing, it's about the last factor is the product innovation. Okay, here innovation, it need to be happen in all the kinds of aspects. That is, creating something new, it need to be done in all the kind of aspects. Okay, here MNCs, by virtue of their widespread operations in many countries, and they are going to collect the information regarding customers. Okay, here what happens in the sense, MNCs are going to maintain certain databases. Okay, what actually the requirements of the customers and their taste and their preferences. Okay, based on that they need to act. That is, if I'm a consumer, okay, now I want the power bank for seaport. Okay, power bank, you all know, right? Power bank, for a seaport I need a power bank. Okay, this is my requirement. Okay, so they will collect this information from my side, and as per they are going to act also. Okay, and further MNCs will going to make a research and development process. Okay, for in every corporation, research and development will be there, and they are going to make these kind of a surveys. Okay, and based on that they are going to develop with a new product. Okay, and they are going to invent the new product, and if any modifications which was the opinion of the customers, it need to be changed. Okay, in the existing product, it can also be changed. Okay, that is, in the existing product, that is fan. When it comes to fan, I don't require with a ceiling. Okay, I require with a table fan. It was introduced. Okay, and when it comes to fans itself, I don't require with the larger wings. I require with the small wings by 4. Okay, it is also invented. Okay, and next thing, when it comes to mobile. Okay, mobile, when it was introduced, it was like a keypad, right? So keypad was transformed into touch screens. Okay, so in that also, in touch screens also, many varieties are there, right? Like Android, iPhones, these kind of many varieties are there. Okay, these are all going to be done based on the surveys which was actually going to be conducted from the research and development departments. If research and development departments not there, then the any kind of a corporation, not MNC, any kind of a corporation, it is not possible to exist in the market. Okay, and actually here developing countries are not going, developing or underdeveloped countries are not going to in a position to develop the new products because of the less technological upgradation. Okay, so therefore, if developing countries and underdeveloped countries invite the MNCs, then they are going to get up with a many employment opportunity also. And by that, one main disadvantage it's going to arise is that the local peoples are going to become as a idle ones. Okay, so these are all the various factors which are contributed for the growth of MNCs, and certain other reasons also there for growth of economic growth of MNCs. Okay, so here other reasons are the non-transferable knowledge. Here it is often possible for an MNC to sell its knowledge in the form of patent rights and to license a foreign producer, right? So if any medicines have been invented by one country, it can be shared or it cannot be shared with the other countries. It is required certain copyright and patent rights. If it is taken, then it is no problem. If it is not taken, then it will be going to be a problem. Okay, and here this is going to reveals up with the MNCs need to make a foreign direct investment. Okay, and here some kind of a knowledge cannot be sold, and here results of experience it is matters most. Okay, knowledge is constant one, that is knowledge cannot be shared with another, right? That is the IQ level which is not going to be shared. Okay, and the IQ level of a person of research and development team, it is also vary from one department to another department. Okay, so that's what the non transferable knowledge. Okay, one company which is going to invent up with a good technology, they are going to opt with the good results. Okay, or otherwise it's not possible. This is also one factor for the development of MNCs. Okay, and next is protecting reputations. See, whenever the good name comes for the organization, it is not constant. Okay, it may get as a bad name for any mistakes which is going to committed by the corporation. Okay, so in order to protect the image or the recognition, okay, they need to protect themselves as the corporations. Okay, that is they need to make certain international boundaries. Okay, where actually the necessary it's there, no, there only they need to establish their establishments. Okay, wherever it is not possible to make an establishment. Okay, and here MNCs, in order to protect themselves, they need to require the foreign license. Okay, foreign license also required. So always MNCs are going to prefer to invest in a country rather than licensing maintains for their good name. Okay, this is second factor, and third factor is building reputations. Here MNCs always invest to build their image and reputation rather than protecting their another image. Okay, so always they will invest their reputation and image. Okay, and this is the motive of particular importance in regarding the foreign direct investment by banks and any banking institutions or any kind of international reputation. It is going to be attracted as deposits. Okay, that is here simple. If reputations are there, then it is easy to borrow any loan amount from the various kinds of financial institutions, or otherwise it is not possible. Okay, and the fourth factor is protecting secrecy. Okay, always every business requires the secret should be in a secret itself. It need not to disclose with any other person. Okay, so here MNCs are going to prefer with a direct investment sometimes. Okay, rather than going with a licensing or any other franchising mode. Okay, so here the maintaining of secrecy is very much important. Okay, whatever the secrets are kept in the parent company, it need to be in a secret, and whatever the secrets it's kept in subsidiaries, it need to be in secret. Okay, it need not to be disclosed. Whatever the strategies or whatever the kind of activities they are going to carry, that can be copied, but still some kind of matters or the issues will be there. These not going to be disclosed to any other persons or any other corporations. Okay, here regarding in order the foreign direct investment is best regarding that is rather than going with the licensing. Okay, and here actually the original owner of the patent rights, he need to be in a secret manner. Okay, if he is going to maintain the secrecy, then no problem will going to come for the corporations. Okay, and the last factor is product life cycle theory and impact. Okay, always the if the product life cycle is in high, that is in peak point, then there is no any issue for the MNCs. If it is fluctuating, then there will be the problem for the MNCs. Okay, like here best example I can give you is the uh, Gillette, the shaving foam or the shaving brands, right? So Gillette, it has actually revolutionized the shaving system industry itself, right? There are many more different kind of instruments came in order to make a shave, right? So and next thing it's about HP laptop and Sony Walkman, okay, Xerox Fades, okay, these are all in a peak point in their home countries. Okay, so and still now Sony, it has already faced the decline stage, but HP and Gillette, these kind of industries are in peak point itself. Okay, so they are maintaining this product life cycle in a good manner. So that's what they are in a position of good. Okay, so these are all the various other reasons for the growth of MNCs. So hereby I'll stop the class for this 12:30 to 1:30 class, and next I will continue with the other remaining concepts. Thank you.